Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry, looking at my cats acting a fool. Um, well, thank you guys so much for coming and tuning in and being a part of this process. Um, it's not just a process for myself that I'm going through. I thank you guys so much for your feedback. Um, and it's really like amazing to know that we have a place that we can come and talk and just meet at and be vulnerable. um I know that this side of like the YouTube part, um you really can't speak in, so I'm thinking very hard about making it on Instagram so that this way, it definitely does become a part of the process of us doing it together, us growing together. Um, Help me with that. One, I want to make sure I am being obedient to God, and He's not telling me to do that. So, um, because it's more at stake of just I want us to be comfortable. This is vulnerable talking about, things that we're going. It's a healing process. And a lot of the times when we're in healing process, we have to watch what we go around and what we have around us. Because before we know it, that healing process, we'll start picking at a scab that is healing. And we can't afford to pick at a scab that is healing because it's a healing for a reason. Not saying that we're avoiding anything, but you have came to a healing point, and yet you may be still at a state that people will start poking at you. I'm not even fully aware for myself if that's something I wanted to do, because I do have two accounts for everything. I have for basically all the social medias, my own personal one, and then one for business. And it's just something really I need to pray about, because it's not just me and my soul that I have to make sure I guard and keep right with the Lord. It's you guys as well. I don't want anyone to feel like, we can't afford to go back into shutdowns. We can't afford to go back into the I don't trust issues. We are at a state that we're growing, and we have to guard it. We have to guard it. We cannot afford to just be all out there. My channel is really meant to mentor, to speak out, to love, to give peace, to give love, to be a listening ear. Yes, it's a process of, up and down, because I had someone say that, well, aren't you still healing too? Aren't you in a place of, like, are you sure you should be doing this? And I don't know what other than to say is I'm going to trust God in this process. I love the fact that I speak out. And I find that with myself, it was keeping things bottled up that was, hindering me from growth. Me speaking out and you speaking out for yourself is going to be a great, wonderful thing. It's going to be, you know, where you get to, like, man, I didn't even know I had this festering down in me. I didn't even know I had this. And once you start dealing with it, because we have to deal with issues, we can't cover them up. 2020, and I was just talking about this with one of my friends today, because I went to the hair salon, and we were talking about what 2020 did. We all know 2020 vision. We need to be seeing things better. 2020 for me helped me see myself. It helped me see my situation. And I'm like, you know what? I said it way before 2020 came into place. That wow, 2020 vision. That's something. And then 2020 came around, and then we got slammed. Boom, wow, COVID. And the mask went on. So what it should have taught us is we have to see ourselves different. We can grow different. We can actually address issues that we kind of masked up. So we had to put on these masks from the outside. But you ever notice when you take your mask off and it smells, your inside from breathing in it all day. That's what we have to deal with. That's what we have to actually sit down with ourselves, with someone else, and actually get to the bottom of what is going on. And don't be afraid of it. I'm telling you, a couple years ago, I would not have even put this into like me talking, and let alone like this process here on social media with a therapist, with my pastor, first lady, me talking, period. I always wanted to kind of mask and deal with my own issues, but it was like, okay, I'm good for right now. And before I know it, I was boom, back on that Ferris wheel. It's so funny when you can just actually get off of, you know, the hiding. You know, it's like hide and seek. I was hiding things, and now I'm seeking after. I gotta get to the root of things. I gotta get to the root of what's going on so I can grow, so I can make progress, so I can be in purpose, because there's more of me here that still has to go out. We all know going to like beauty salon, you know, barbershops, for us, it's like we get to talk. And I love where I go because it has, you know, some moments it may be where it's gossip, but then very not. You know, we talk about some real life issues. Don't nobody talk about, you know, like, did you see this or any of that? It's really like today, the shop owner, she just was really pouring out business stuff. So I was like, wait, hold up. I didn't know I came here for this today. Next time I'm coming with my book and my pen. And I meant it. And she know that. I meant it. I'm coming. Like, yeah. Because just what she was laying out was really good. And I'm like, wow. I'm actually going to, if you don't mind, I want to do one of my videos here one time. Where you can actually, because I think I'll do it for the podcast side part. I don't know. But you'd be shocked some of the information you can get at the hair salon, the beauty shops. It's amazing, you know, just the growth of things, and just the communication of network. That's what it is. You network with people. You know, I really am so grateful for a lot that has happened. I want to inspire you to go through your ups and your downs and everything that's going on, because it will not always be like this or like what it was. It's definitely going to build you into a better person, a better opportunity for things to start opening up for you. You know, it's only but so long we can mask things that's going on. If COVID didn't impact you, because we can't sit here and say it impact everyone. It may didn't. It may not have impact everyone. I know for myself, we lost loved ones. We lost people within the pandemic. We all know one thing, it could probably impact you with the side of the funny, crazy thing about it with COVID was it actually impacted, oh my goodness, and it really just hit me. It actually impacted the two things that must happen no matter what to everyone: how you are born and how you die. Because when people were giving birth, it was at some point at the very beginning of COVID that the women were in the hospital by themselves. So now you're giving birth and the father cannot even be there. And then for passing, a lot of family members couldn't actually be there, in there. So they had loved ones passing by themselves and they had to put up video like phones and laptops and cameras and all of that stuff. So at some point, you may have been impacted with COVID. It touched us some ways, a lot of ways. It has one of the highest rate of divorce, dropouts. We all know about employment, the highest rate of unemployment ever. So I want to say we all probably were touched, even if it wasn't us personally, family, friends, loved ones, someone was. So we have a lot that we learned from it. We had to learn to change. That's what COVID did. We had to learn how to change. And not just a change for the moment, a change going forth. Because I don't see us ever getting back to the ways that it was. And my whole thing is this: if I take it personal for myself, would I? No. I've grown so much within COVID. At the beginning of it, when things started taking a turn and going down, my faith, where I thought I had it before, I know now it was religious. Because I'm born a Christian, my mother, my grandmother, everything around me, Christian based. So I'm like, I'm good, I got a relationship. No, there's a difference. And COVID actually had me sit down and want to say, what is it with a relationship? It had me change my perspective on all relationships that come to me. Friends, family, spouse, children, everyone. Every relationship is now different from me. My relationship with myself. And it started with me building a relationship with him. Once I wanted to seek more and more, because when the mask came on, the only thing I had for me was my eyes. I had to see him more. My view was different. So I could only see what was up. Probably the highest, if God was Google, probably the highest volume of prayer ever. Probably the highest volume of prayer ever. So we just take this moment and say, thank you, God, you get the glory. Because he was answering prayers all along. It could have been worse. So we got to see the very good out of COVID. How it changed and transformed us. How we do things differently in our homes, at our jobs, at school. It's thankful. It's a thankful, grateful thing. We have to look at it like that. Don't look at it for all the stuff that happened that we wasn't expecting. We didn't expect it. That's why it's called the unexpected. But there is growth in it of what we can do going forth. We can change and be okay with the change. Change is uncomfortable. Anything that's comfortable, are you really growing? And I was talking with my cousin today, who my aunt is like the rock for them, the rock for the family. And she's not doing too well. And she was always used to going out and being the one who was the rock. And now it's like, who's the rock for her? And I had to tell my cousin, and this is not a bad thing, Some people only know how to be the one that's in need. They don't know how to be the one that is needed. It's not them being selfish. It's not them where we want to say, oh, they know what they're doing. They may not know. That's where we all have to come in and love and show. And that's where conversations are needed. Not because this person may not know how, but if you have a conversation with them, you can make them aware. They probably don't even realize it. You would think, oh, she did this for you, she did that for you, she did that for you, you should be doing this for her. But one, it starts with just the humble heart of the person doing it. When you do it, you don't expect to get anything back. You don't do things because you want them back done for you. You do them because that's where your heart is, and that's what God is telling you to do. He's going to see fit that you're going to get everything back, that he's taking care of you, so she's not alone. But a lot of the times I find out if we just have conversations with one another, you can really get down to the root of some things of what's going on. Because somebody may not even know that they're not even showing up. Just make them aware and say it with love. And then, if nothing changes, then you just move on. We in a period that we can't live with the tension, animosity, hatred, bitterness. And it's a very hard thing to get out of, but you gotta pray. Even when you don't know how to pray, start Googling prayers. Start Googling, how to pray to Jesus. And it will happen. But I can tell you this for yourself. All you got to do is open up your mouth and say his name. He'll teach you how to communicate with him. You don't have to, because you don't want to get caught up also. I know for myself, when I was young, I would get caught up on how people pray and then thought that was how I needed to communicate and talk and pray with God and everything. And that's not. He wants you, your genuine self, who you are to him, how he sees you. He don't need you to be sister such and such, brother such and such. No, he needs you. He wants you. Every relationship is different. This is exactly why we can't look at someone else's relationship and be like, oh, I want that. I want what they have. I'm learning because I get caught up sometimes with it too, and I have to catch myself and I say, God, I want what you want me to have. Because if God brings the person into your life and a relationship into your life, then you already know it's going to be for great. It's going to be beyond even what you think. Because when his will is in it, nothing can go against it. Not even yourself. He will correct you to let you know, hey, get yourself together. Because I brought this person in your life because I need y'all to do something. You got to get out of a mindset of what you want and start getting in the mindset of your will, God. So if it's your will for me, here I am. He's not a letdown God. He's not like, no, you ain't worthy of that. That's not what he is. That's not who he is. Because he's a living God. So he will have everything for you. A lot of the times I'm finding out for myself is when I let things go and really give it to him. And I used to always, when things were going on with my mind and things were coming up on social media or people texting me or all kinds of stuff happening, I would throw on like my music and certain songs that would get me right into worship and praising him. And then one day I had to say, I heard this sound the alarm. And the alarm was the silent alarm. Whew, wow. Of just being quiet, being still in God. Because we're going to have to work. Yes, I thank him for the music. I thank him for the praise and all that. But sometimes when you just sit quiet, and I had to plead the blood, and plead the blood, and just sit quiet with him. Because when the music can't do it, when words can't do it, I had to rest in his arms. I had to be quiet. And it's been doing something awesome for me. I had to quiet my mind. I had to quiet my mind by saying, okay, be still. And my mind was trying to think of other things and do all kinds of stuff. But I had to say, nope, nope. Jesus, I plead the blood. I plead the blood. His sacrifice means so much to me. Who else would do that? I don't know anyone that would do that. It is so funny because when I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, right? The first thing a lot of people said to me is, "I feel your pain. I'm with you." And it was hard at first because I didn't know what it was, and I still, quite frankly, do not know everything of what it is. But I just was like in an angry point of, you don't know what it is to have this. So when you're telling me you're with me, I don't get it, because you can't feel what I feel. But one person that I knew felt it, and I had to come to terms with, I have it for a reason, was God. Because I was like, one more sickness, I got another issue. Like, how much more can I take? How much more? Like, I didn't had X, Y, Z, so I didn't had it all. I had like so many things: addiction, illness, health issues, like back to back to back to back to back. And all I can think is, now sitting here, this is exactly why probably you have it, to speak out and tell someone else. Your sickness does not define you. Health elements is where we definitely need to go into praying it out. We got to stop looking at things like it's all bad. There's a reason for it. We don't know. But I'm telling you, it's going to work out for our greater good. You can be encouraging somebody by knowing you have something that's supposed to take you out, but yet you still walking around, you moving, you're doing, you're breathing. And all I can say is glory be to God. I don't know other than him how I move. If you would have asked me a while ago, I would have been like, oh, I did therapy, and oh, I'm moving, I'm going to do this because I'm going to fight it. Now I'd be like, nobody but God. Literally. Yeah. Learning how to walk, to talk, to literally think. That's how we have to know. It is truly, we have to, and I'm actually having a meeting with a guy who his company is this name, but it is the mind over the matter. So in your mind, if you already know God's will for you, then what are you worried for? What are you sitting up there? Because your worries will take over you and they keep festering. And before you know it, something that was so small, and this is, multiple sclerosis. People say, oh, that's not no small thing, don't play it down. but it's a small thing for my big faith. It's going to turn out good. And that was just one incident. Other health issues, other life issues. It's life. It's going to happen. But where's your faith? Where's your trust? And don't, because even my mind would want to play something now, like, don't, because you never know what you'll step. That be the enemy try to get our minds. Because see, I'm here now with you, but I'm vulnerable and I'm telling you the truth. The enemy wants to get my mind, like, don't speak that, because see, this is going to happen. No, I have full trust in God that he's going to do it. I thank him because I can walk. I thank him because I get up. I thank him because I don't take any medicines. I thank him because I can see. I can speak here now with you. I have everything. It got me to, and it's so funny that I have this shirt on today, but it had me at a realization when, is there such thing as normal? When people sit there and they say, oh, I have this, element or this special need that, or a loved one has a special need. I find out working with people who have health elements is what they say as a special need. Really, I believe, and this is not to downplay it because it's not disrespectful, but I find it for myself that it's almost the reverse, the opposite. We are the special need one. We have to be dealt with special, because I want to say I worked in the school district with children who had many, what they say, disabilities, and I had to learn how to adapt to them versus them learning how to adapt to me and us. Some of the realest people in the world. Man, like, real. They do something, yeah, I did it. Well, you want to say sorry? I say sorry for what? I didn't mean to hurt you. I wasn't trying to hurt you. And we sometimes take it like, yes, you knew you was. No. Some of the realest people. Some of the realest people. So I thank God for everything he's doing in my life. It's all where I had to really take myself out of victim mode, because I am not a victim. I have what I have. My life right now, with everything, all the health elements, the addictions, the mindset of crazy stuff. Literally, once I started dealing, and it's an everyday, I'm not saying this to you like, oh, I dealt with it, it's over and done. No, I am dealing with it. And how life goes is how we continue to deal. We have to be consistent in our growth. We have to be consistent in moving forward. We have to be consistent in finding out information. We have to be consistent on, especially when it comes to ourselves. Okay, what's the next step? We have to be consistent with it. There's work that we have to do within our faith. And that's what faith without works means. Is dead. Not about finances, not about anything. Faith without works, the works of our faith. We have to be reading our words. We have to be going forth. We have to be making sure that we institute more than just the ability to get up there, go out there and make money. Yes, money does what? I can't even find the ending words to it. Really, it's like I said, money does what? I can't even finish it. Money does pay bills. Money does do all of that stuff. But money, it can't get you into heaven. And how about this? It don't go there with you. It don't even go to hell with you. So why choose it? You need it. If you have faith and you have that what God needs it to do. Because you can have, I found out, you can have money and still lack everything else. So you got to just be mindful of that. The provision that God is going to give you, you really have to make sure it's for His will and what He's going to do on it. I tell you all the time, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't want the money for it to be for a purpose of what I need God to do with it, what I want God to do with it. But more importantly, I ask Him, wait, please let this be your will. I really am gearing up my companies because I, as a kid, went to, they used to have like carnivals out in the city called Super Sunday here in Philly. And they used to have all kinds of big major food drives, clothing drives, because we grew up, we didn't have a house. We lived pillar to post. Sometimes it was a house that my mom had. It was an abandoned house. So I want to be able to have my businesses do that. Food giveaways, clothing giveaways, make children feel like, okay, I can want and do more in my life. Educational tools. I still am a firm believer on marriage. A still firm believer on marriage. I'll never discredit marriage. That's how you multiply with your spouse. Not just having kids, but multiply on this earth of what God needs you to do, His work. So I am a big fan of marriage. But I want to be able to help God in His mission. And my assignment is to keep on going forth. He's putting pieces in. It's so funny how He talks to you and just all of a sudden it skyrockets off. Before you know it, I started doing this stuff a while ago, and then it just seemed like, especially the last couple of days, just speaking things out, it's been going forth. I can't wait till I actually have where I can throw. We have a big convention center here, and I would like to have at least the downstairs part room of it house a Christmas event for kids and parents and families, and not where it's just you got to be a single parent. No, I want families to come there and have a full-fledged evening of ice, evening of just God's presence, evening of whatever. I don't need to come up with a theme, but I know when it happens, I'm going to just say, man, thank you, Jesus. I want kids and families to come there and have where they can just relax in Him. One, Christmas is my favorite holiday. I said it not that long ago, and I don't know if I mentioned it on here, but I had said it about that, reject of where, and it not reject, but how when Jesus was born, He couldn't get in nowhere else. No, none of the ends, none of the places, but He was born in the barn. And that's what I said I wanted to. So thank you, God, for bringing it back to me. I want to have a barnyard party festival. Because here it is. This man was born in the barn to go on to one of the biggest palaces. Nothing bigger. Nothing is more than Him. So we can start out at that, what they consider the low level, because it's only going up from there. And I want children to know that whatever your circumstances, and families to know, whatever your circumstances, the statistics that they say I'm turning statistics around. I'm turning statistics around. That's going to be my child. I want them to know it will change. We have work to do. So you yourself can go back and pull someone else through. I love you guys. I hope you have a great evening. Thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, everything. Let's get ourselves on this mission, on assignment for God. I thank you guys so much. You have a good evening, and I will be back on with you guys tomorrow. Bye.